After the NBA Finals ended, all due respect to the WNBA, we are in baseball season now.
Yeah.
It is baseball season. Baseball is every single day, so on and so forth. And it's just this is the time in which I start to pay attention. Like Christmas for the NBA, after the NBA Finals for baseball. Here we are. And it seems like, as if you notice, that Shohei Ohtani is pretty good at this sport.
Well, yeah, especially after what he just did coming through Arlington and Globe Life Stadium to my Rangers, 4 home runs in that 4-game set, and 3 of them were just – I watched every pitch of all 4 games, and 3 of those shots were just blast. And then he also was on the bump, too, where he pretty well that day also, too, going 7 innings. I think he only gave up 1 run and gave up 3 hits, struck out 6 or something like that. But I started to just really look at this guy. He reminds me a lot, and not him. The way we talk about and treat him is kind of how we talk about and treat Jokic, where he's great. You can see he's really, really, really good, really great. But it's almost like we're waiting for the moment to go, I can see, there's the chink in the armor. That's what I'm talking about right there. Yeah, he's not that good. Yeah, he's cool and all, but he'll fade out. He's flavor of the month. And just every time I watch this guy, I'm like, wow, this dude is really good. Like, I can't find a hole in his game. And it started to make me, I don't think all time, I try not to go that far back, but it did make me go, okay, is this the best player I've seen in the last 10 years? And then I said, okay, well, let me go back a little more. Is this the best player I've seen in the last 20 years? And I stopped it right there. And my answer, Martin, might, I'm not sure yet, but it might be yes. He might be the best all-around baseball player I've seen. And I know he's just a pitcher and he's not a fielder. I get that. But the pitch and then the hit, the way he does, it's just phenomenal, man. It's crazy. I even heard a baseball historian who said he was even tired of the Babe Ruth comparisons. And I'm like, whoa, guys over 50, 60, they love throwing Babe Ruth out there. But he kind of put some context to it. Like, listen, man, there was a point Babe Ruth wasn't even pitching like that. He wasn't pitching that often. He was just a primary hitter. This guy's still doing both every day, hitting and then pitching every 4 or 5 days. I think he might be the best baseball player I've seen in the last 20 years. Well,
I think the moment that you're waiting for is the postseason. Like, I think that would be the moment I mean, it's the same as Jokic. Like, everybody was down on Jokic. I'll say everybody, but people who were down on the people who were down on Jokic were like, all right, that's awesome.
He hasn't won yet.
The season is incredible. I'm not trying to downplay that, but you make your name in the playoffs. You make your name in the postseason. You make your name when games count that much more. And then now that Jokic has done that, went through a playoff run, which was incredible, by the way, 16-4, right? I mean, that's tough.
Wasn't it historical? Right? Most points, most assists, most rebounds ever.
But, like, to the point, he also was doing stuff like that in the regular season. So, like, when you see him doing it in the playoffs, it's a confirmation. However, before seeing it happen, you didn't know. Because, I mean, we see it all the time where athletes are great in the regular season and not so great in the postseason. I mean, just think of the run we just had. Right? Michael Porter Jr. was averaging 20 points a game in the regular season. Mm-hmm. As the playoffs went further and further along, he averaged less and less. Yeah. To the point in the finals, he was borderline unplayable. It's not a knock on him. I'm not saying he's a bad player or anything of that nature. It's just things change in the playoffs.
So are you waiting to give your final where Shohei Ohtani is? You got to see him in the play. Got to see him in the postseason.
Yeah, I mean, because that's where to me where it really matters the most.
That's hard in baseball though, because you need a lot of things to go right in baseball for you to get. Because Trout hasn't done nothing in the postseason, but people were calling him the best player in baseball. He's one of the top 5 players we've ever seen in our lives before.
The entire time that they were putting up Trout's WAR numbers up next to Miguel Cabrera's home runs and RBIs, I was like, makes no sense. This is dumb. This winning should matter in professional sports.
Absolutely, it should matter in sports, but we're not in that era anymore. Well, we're in the dorkism.
Call me a throwback.
I'm with you though, bro. I mean, you've been doing the show with me long enough. You should know this. I'm with you as far as that's concerned. But the only pushback I'll give is the postseason thing with baseball is like Ken Griffey Jr., he didn't have a ton of postseason success. Like his biggest moment is rounding third base against the Yankees and sliding, and the camera view of him on his stomach and all the teammates coming. That's like the best you're gonna get Griffey in as far as postseason. But no one's gonna tell you that he's not a top 10, 5'2" player of all time, probably top 5, depending upon who you talk to.
Right, but okay, if we're talking it's skills and ability, then sure, you can rate that. But if we're talking about the best, like the ones that are standing out in the history of the game, that's what I'm saying. They make their names in the playoffs. Like, I'm not saying that Shohei Ohtani's not great. I'm not saying that. But if you want to sit there and say, I'm going to wait to crown him until you see him win, I'm fine with it.
Wow.
I really truly am, and I know Bo hates that opinion. He called me an idiot for it well before.
Well, because it's hard in jump in here, Bo. It's hard in baseball, right?
Yeah, the Angels scored 9 runs today, and they lost 9-10 because the Royals scored 2 runs in the bottom of the 9th. Like nothing Trout or Ohtani can do about that. Ohtani hit a home run today. Trout hit 2. He went 2 for 4 today. It's just harder in baseball to do the individual greatness stuff. Like it's tough.
And doesn't Shohei now lead the league in home runs? Isn't he the league leader in home runs now? Yeah. So I mean,
you can argue that Ohtani's the best hitter and pitcher in baseball right now. It's silly.
Yeah.
And I'm not trying to. To me, I'm not taking that away.
Like at a certain point though, too, it's like I want these guys to win. Like we all know Kershaw is one of the greatest pitchers of all time, but it's different now that he has a World Series title.
Exactly. That's what I'm saying. I'm not saying that he's not great. I'm not saying I'm not going with that. But if you want us to put him up there in the all-time Mount Rushmores of the game, can he win a playoff series?
But I think baseball, and I agree, and I get what you're saying.
That's an outrageous request.
No,
like, can you make a wild card and then maybe like at least give somebody hell in the first round? Like, you know what I'm saying? Like,
but isn't baseball the one pro sport we do have where that, like you just said, Bo, that it's hard to put that on one? Tony Gwynn. Right, Tony Gwynn, probably one of the greatest. Right, Tony Gwynn. There's a perfect example. He can only go hit himself. He can't hit for everybody else, and he doesn't pitch.
And you have you guys saw this story about David Freese declining the induction into the Cardinals Hall of Fame.
Oh yeah, I missed that.
Steve was doing it in his update.
Yeah,
I heard you, Steve.
He had 2 at-bats with the Rangers that changed their season, won a World Series. But other than that, he's not really that special of a player.
Yeah,
and so he told the Cardinals like he doesn't belong to be up there with Bob Gibson and other names like that. So.
And I'll tell you this, on the Rangers World Series, if Nelson Cruz sells out on the wall and makes the damn catch, the World Series is over and they win a ring. He kind of tiptoed into the wall, ferried into the wall, and let the ball hit off of him. Yeah, bad memories for. Bad memories for me.
I saw that Tigers team. Like I went on a huge rant about last week. They won the AL Central like a million times in a row. They had some of the best hitters ever. And then Verlander and Scherzer, you know what? They didn't win jack.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I'm saying? They didn't win nothing.
What about the team that did win, though? They won the World Series. What about the team that did win, right?
That was in 1984. I'm talking about the 2013 Tigers that had multiple Hall of Famers, multiple guys who are still making major impact in the league right now. They didn't win jack. And so, no, I'm not saying they're one of the best teams ever, even though if you go look where they all went, sure.
Yeah. Baseball is so tough, too, because even if you do win a lot, you don't necessarily become any Madison Bumgarner is one of the greatest postseason pitchers of all time, and I think he's going to be kind of forgotten because of the way his career ended.
He's in Arizona. Yep.
Yeah.
Well,
he's not going to make the Hall of Fame or anything like that.
Thanks, Steve. Let's get my main guy, DeMarjay Morrison here, MLB Bro content reporter and a sneaky Angels fan. I met him this week, VJ, and he was wearing an Angels beanie in the middle of June in L.A., which actually fit.
He inboxed me a video. He inboxed me a video.
He's an Angels fan. So you know what? Let's get to this right here, right now. DeMarjay, I got a question for you, bro. As we hear this intro music, has Shohei Ohtani, the Angels' wonderkind, has he already locked up the American League MVP? Or is that still up for grabs? Because he's doing stuff every night that we've never seen before.
It's locked up, man. Give that man the MVP. Now, I'm not going to disrespect other ballers out there. In my opinion, I do believe he's going to be the MVP this season. Seventh in hits, 5th in home runs, 6th in RBIs. My bad. I mean, that's the Angels. That's the Angels team. My bad. He's what is it? Leads the Angels in 16 different categories.
Yep.
1st in home runs, 4th in RBIs, leads us in on-base slugging. Like, come on. And we already know what he's doing on the mound, so you got to give it to him.
DeMarge, I appreciated your video to my inbox, man, with your little beanie on. Yeah, I'm gonna call you later. I'm gonna teach you how to trash talk. That was cool, but I'm gonna show you how you really should. Because you should have tagged it and spread it all over my page and had people come to me like, "Yo, who's this DeMarge dude coming at you, VJ?" I kind of like that, and I'd be like, "Nah, he cool. Y'all leave my man alone. He know what he doing over there at MLBBro.com." Speaking of your Angels and speaking of Ohtani, what do you guys do with him? Is he going to leave for $400 million, $500 million somewhere? What's going to happen? Say you guys, because you're not making the postseason. So when they don't make the postseason, he has this great year. Martin said he's got to get to the postseason for Martin to be able to put him on that pedestal. Does he leave you guys and go somewhere where he can get to the postseason so he could be on that pedestal? Where do you see this shaking out?
I hate to say it, but I do think Ohtani leaves. It makes sense for him to go to the Dodgers. Why not? You're already in the Southern Cal area. There's still a huge Japanese Asian population down there. Why not? It's a big market. You know you're going to have a chance at a championship every year. You're going to be in the postseason. So, in my opinion, that's where I see him going, and I guess a lot of other people see him going there as well.
Now, we see another team going, right? The Oakland A's. I mean, I saw a billboard they had up in Vegas right now, basically putting up a celebration for the Golden Knights based off the Las Vegas A's. Like, they put up a billboard, and meanwhile, the Oakland A's lost today. So I don't know, it was a little confusing there. But what were your thoughts about that reverse boycott, as well as Rob Manfred's comments after it?
I love it from the fans' perspective. As far as Rob Manfred, I am disappointed by that comment. It seemed like he was taking a shot at the fans, and it's almost like, come on, bro, you know why the fans aren't showing up. Don't make it seem like they've had a reason to show up and they're just choosing not to. They don't have a product to cheer for, to be excited about, so why would they spend their hard-earned money and show up for the game? So don't try to make it sound like they're crazy for not showing up. That's how I took it with that comment he made.
DeMarge, content creator from MLBBro.com, doing great work over there. Something that caught my attention as I pick up my baseball watching, as Martin said a minute ago. We're in baseball season. There's no more NBA games. Football's still a little bit of ways, but we're in baseball season. JT Realmuto hit for the cycle, okay? Only the 16th catcher to ever do it since 1901. And I went and I looked it up. I was like, wow, why is it only 16 catchers? And there's so many other positions that have many more guys that have done it. Why is it so hard for catchers? What is it with catchers hitting for their cycle? Why there's only been 16 of them since 1901?
Well, we know a lot of times power usually isn't an issue for catchers. Most of the time it's speed. And I think what trips the catchers up is getting that triple. I think that's what holds them up a lot of times from hitting that cycle, is them being able to get on their high horse and get that triple.
Yeah, that too. And plus, depending on what ballpark you're in, you got to have real wheels to get a triple, depending on. Otherwise, sometimes, in the worst case, you're out there, left fielder kicks the ball, and now you got to double in an error.
Ball caroms off the wall and pop, it gets away from you type deal.
DeMarge, now I know you don't really have your Power 5 teams here. I want to know, what 5 teams are you expecting that potentially could make a move up the standings right now as we're at this point in the season?
I love what the Cincinnati Reds are doing. I know that division.
I love them too.
I know, but I love what they're building. They're balling right now. They're aggressive on the bases. They can score. They're supposed to get Lodolo back, I think sometime around August, I think it is. So they could get him back with the way Hunter Green's pitching. I know it wasn't his best outing today, but they still got the dub. I love what they're doing. Diamondbacks, they've been the team to look out for a little bit now, but hey, even when the Dodgers get that rotation healthy, I still think the Diamondbacks might run away with this division. I love what I'm seeing from them as well. Another team who's aggressive on the bases. One of the teams who strikes out the least, so you got to love that. Top 5 in RBIs. And then the Giants. Nobody's really talking about the Giants. They've been a sneaky team, 8-2 in their last 10, won 5 in a row, got a real balanced lineup. They can score as well, 9th in home runs, 9th in runs. Conforto, he's having a nice season. Nobody's really talking about him. 12 homers, 36 RBIs. Love what the Giants are doing. And the Phillies. Phillies kind of got off to a rocky start, but as of late, they've been hot. 8-2 in their last 10, won 5 in a row. They can score as well. Rotation has to get a little healthy and get some things in order. And then I got to save the best for last. The Anaheim Angels, baby. And yes, the Anaheim Angels. You're not doing that LA stuff. 7-3 in their last 10. One of the best offenses in the game. That's a given. We can hit. We can score. get RBI. Zach Neto, baller. Shout out to Neto. And we finally brought up Joe Adele. Hopefully we can keep him up this time. It seems every time he hits a little rough patch, they want to send him back down. But let him play through it, man. Let him get a groove and see what we can do. Finally got some youth up there, so that'll be my power 5.
You know what, man? We relax a little bit, Arlington. We let you take 3 out of 4. And now you guys just think you're all that. Like, come on, man. You're still 4.5 games back. Listen, I want to throw a team at you that I don't think we've ever talked about here. And Martin and he won't admit it, but I will. I like going against this guy. That's what sports radio is about sometimes when you got a tandem. I want to go against this guy. So he's saying the Cincinnati Reds. I'm saying the Brew Crew's going to win the Central. Talk to me about the Brewers and how they're going to hold on and win this division. So in September, I can look at Martin and say, what happened to those Reds?
I don't like the Brewers. They haven't really grabbed a hold of that division. They should have been able to by now. The fact that the Reds are where they are, I just think it's wide open. And I just think the Reds are super talented. I think those young guys, they're playing free, no pressure. They're already exceeding expectations. No matter what that division looks like, they're already exceeding expectations. So I think just the fact they could go out there and play free, man, the Brewers, they kind of been slipping. So I don't really like the Brewers in that division.
Yeah, I think they really miss Luis Arias and his. I mean, the dude. I think it was 0 for 15 before, maybe 2-3 days ago. He was still hitting 350 on the. Like he's incredible at getting on base, and I think the Brewers really miss him. But we don't miss you, DeMarjay. I appreciate you coming on, DeMarjay Morris, MLB Bro content reporter. Check him out all over social media at MLBBro.com. Good looking out, my guy.
DeMarjay, happy Father's Day for tomorrow, brother.
Appreciate you so much. Thank you.
No doubt, buddy.
As well. Much love.